pressure is on to open the way for new energy. Mineral Resources and Energy Minister Gwede Mantashe has not only announced 8 bidders, but also a new bid window, which is opening at midnight tonight. For a response, I'm joined now by Ntombifuthi Ntuli, CEO of the South African Wind Energy Association. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us. So the Minister spoke about 8 projects, preferred bidders. It totals private sector investment of 45 billion rand across solar PV, wind, liquefied natural gas, battery storage. He's hoping it'll come online by August 2022. Is the industry really opened up now, or do we still have some way to go to bring new power sources online?
I think I can say that this is the first step. We obviously know that this bidding round where preferred bidders have been announced was issued last year, August, and it's a technology agnostic one, meaning that all technologies could bid. So it means that the industry is opened up because we saw 2 hybrids, which include wind power, featuring in that list of 8 projects, which is something really good for the sector. There was, of course, some solar projects and gas projects as well, as well as storage. So it just shows that with the way procurement was done, we are able to now demonstrate that renewable energy can now come together in hybrid projects to give projects or power that is dispatchable.
And this is just one of a number, because tonight at midnight, bid window 5 opens up with more requests for proposals, 4 more in the offing in the months to come. So this is a rolling project proposal request, essentially. Am I right? What happens now?
Yeah, so you're quite correct. So bid window 5 is specifically for renewable energy projects. As the Minister Mantashe said, it will be 2,600 megawatts. That is capacity to be procured from wind projects and solar projects. So those projects need to be submitted in August. And he also mentioned that within the next 12 months, another bidding window is going to be issued. So you spoke earlier, Sally, you asked the question about is the industry opening up? I would definitely say yes. I mean, if we get 3 bidding windows in a space of 18 months, whereas we have waited for more than 6 years to get to this point. For me, I would say government is really serious about procuring additional power to solve the power crisis.
So let's move on to your area of interest, which of course is wind energy. How much is wind energy currently contributing to the national grid? Could you give us a rough percentage?
In percentage-wise, we are contributing 52%, of course, of all renewable power that has been procured so far. And in terms of where we're going by 2030, wind power will constitute 18% of the total power system. So, which means it's a huge share, and that also signifies the growth of the industry that's lying ahead.
All right, so by 2030, 18% of our power will come from wind. But what is it currently on the national grid?
Currently on the national grid, it's about less than 10% because it includes all renewables.
I see. So it's seen as one entity. Okay. So it's got some way to grow. How competitive is it cost-wise? Because the winning bidders, the minister said, they averaged at between 1,468 and 1,885 rand per megawatt hour. Is that pretty much what we're paying anyway? I'm trying to work out if our costs are going to go up at Eskom the more we go on to alternative power.
I think this bidding round is quite different because we're procuring dispatchable capacity. But when we look at the next bidding round where we are procuring energy, the wind is coming in very competitive because that energy is going to come in at less than 60 cents per kilowatt hour if the figures we saw in 2014 are anything to go by. It's very difficult to benchmark now because our last bidding was in 2014, but we ended at 62 cents per kilowatt hour for wind power. So we're expecting less in this round.
Okay, all right. There was a very interesting interview that we had on this program earlier this week. It was Stellenbosch University researchers have done this really interesting, it was a master's thesis about the enormous offshore wind energy potential, which is essentially an astonishing idea. It's something we're not currently doing. We're very much land-based with our wind energy. And the researcher was explaining that it will take a lot to implement this. It also will require new legislation, new frameworks. Is there the appetite to be that bold, to look at completely new solutions, such as offshore wind energy generation?
Yes, there is appetite to look at these solutions. Offshore is something, of course, that we might not be focusing in now, and it's projects that we might not have before the end of 2020. But we think the industry is going to continue growing beyond 2030. And we are currently developing inland because it's more cost competitive. But as the more lucrative sites that has higher wind speed gets taken up, industry might then start to move offshore to develop projects that have got high yield. But so we're saying we are very excited to see the academic community starting to investigate those things. And we think we still need a lot of feasibility studies to say where exactly can we start or when can we start with offshore wind development. But I can confirm that at this stage, there is no developers in South Africa who are focusing on offshore wind.
And of course, the big question is how soon will all these new preferred bidders, the ones we heard about today, must come on to the grid by August 2022. How soon is all of this likely to make an impact on load shedding?
I mean, if you look at the timelines, if they given bid submission date of August 21, I think it's going to take about between 6 to 12 months for them to now reach financial close and start construction. So I would say my earliest bet would be 2023 beyond.
All right.
For this to start coming online.
All right. Well, thank you very much. But it's great to hear the industry is opening up. Ntombifuthi Ntuli, CEO of the South African Wind Energy Association.